Just another little thing to mention about caring for your dies. I see people when they've cut a die like this and the bits are all still stuck in the die and they're banging it on the table. I really wouldn't recommend that because you can damage the fins on the die if you're banging it too hard. So I would definitely recommend either a die brush like this or a pointed tool to poke the bits out. Yes, it might take you a few seconds longer, but you're not going to damage your die. So that's just another little point to note. Now I want to show you a little trick. Most machines come with a rubber mat accessory and also another plate. This is the one that matches my Spellbinders Platinum, but most machines will have these either with the machine as an accessory or to purchase separately. So have a look for what might be called an embossing plate, which is the hard one, and an embossing mat or rubber mat, which is this soft squishy rubber mat. These allow us to emboss through the machine. That means to create raised detail in something. So I want to just quickly show you how that might increase the effect of what you can achieve with a die. Most of us would cut a flower or a butterfly or whatever it might be, and that's that. We've got the flower. Lovely. But you can actually increase the effect that you achieve with these dies by using the rubber mat. So I'm going to cut the flower in the normal way. So I have it facing my cutting plate and the card in between, so that's going to give us the cut shape. Now before this comes out of my die, I want to turn it over. So we've got the die here and we've got the cut shape is still inside the die. And I want to now swap out my two cutting plates. So I've taken both of these away and I'm left with just my base platform, which is the thick white one. And I'm going to put this with the die underneath next to my base platform. Then I'm going to put the rubber mat on top of that. Then I'm going to use the embossing plate that matches my machine. And I'm going to run that through the machine again. Okay. Now you can do this with absolutely any die, but I think it's a feature that a lot of people perhaps aren't aware of. So if we can get a really good close-up on this, and you'll be able to see now that there is some embossed detail around the edge of this flower. And that's been created by the rubber mat pushing the cardstock into the die and using the flange of the die, which is this little flat area inside the cutting edge, to hold the cardstock while the rest of it is pushed into these open areas, and it gives the flower a much more 3D look. And as I say, you can do this with any die and it will increase the detail that is produced within the cardstock. So that's a really lovely trick, and I would recommend you try that with all your dies to see what happens, because it's really lovely sometimes what's revealed. So that's the end of our tips and tricks for today. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you will try some of them and have some of them in your memory so that you are going to get the best from your dies and preserve your dies for as long as you can. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.